Once at school, my computer teacher fainted because of me because she had said, "Tomorrow bring a mouse because the classroom doesn't have one." And I got home and told Tizok Bato we need to get a mouse. So we caught it in the yard with a bucket and I put it in a shoebox with little holes, and the next day the teacher says, "Who brought the mouse?" And I, all proud, open the box in front of her. The mouse shoots out toward her face, and the teacher froze and fainted because she was afraid of mice. So for being extra obedient, I ended up punished. But the English teacher congratulated me because I was already improving my English from that day on. If they say mouse, I ask USB or with whiskers. Bringing a live mouse because I took the word mouse literally traumatized my teacher. And at home, my dad also confused something really simple with a killer anaconda. Because once my dad thought an anaconda had gotten into my house. Because my brother Moharin and I had a scooter, a Lightning McQueen one, and we played with it every day. But after a few years, the paint and texture of the scooter started peeling off. And one day, my dad saw what looked like snake skin on the floor. And that same day, he went out to buy a rusty machete to finish off the anaconda. But then he told us to be careful and showed us, according to him, the shed skin of the snake. And in the end, we told him it was our scooter, that it was old and the paint was coming off, that it wasn't an anaconda. But when I picked it up, I bent down and forgot to kill it. My dad grabbed a machete over an old stripped scooter. At the fair, my girlfriend truly felt she needed help. For real, on a hellish amusement ride, since once, my girlfriend and I got on an ultra extreme ride at the fair. And my girlfriend thought she was going to faint and go with Mama Coco. Because we were at the fair and we saw a ride that looked fun, but we didn't know it was really crazy. So we got on. Once we felt the force, which was awful, my girlfriend started screaming, let's go, Mom, Mom!" She seemed gone for a few seconds, then yelled, "Okay, Mom!" And I wanted to scream too, but I didn't want to look like a wimp, so I held it in. But my girlfriend is dramatic and said she was going to faint, and that she was going to choke on her own tongue, and that she was going to die. I love you, God. I love you, God. I trust in you, Jesus. I trust in you. I love you. I love you. The fair squeezed our souls with the G-force, but Christmas didn't bring peace either, because a firework made my family think that half the street had exploded. Well, one time when it was Christmas, my family and I were at my grandma's house, and we thought someone had thrown a grenade in the street because we were in the middle of praying to celebrate the birth of baby Jesus. But right when we were saying Our Father, boom, there was a really loud noise that made all of us jump. And my Aunt Cleta, the dramatic one, ran to the furniture and threw herself flat on the floor. But then my uncle went to see what it was and saw that it was some kids who had set off a firecracker called the Devil's Face. And damn, I had even thought that Russia was invading my poor town. My aunt threw herself to the floor thinking that the war was coming, and that same sense of tragedy hit me when my mom gave away my newly bought gaming laptop. And it's because one time my uncle gave me 5,000 pesos because I passed all my classes with straight A's. So, really excited, I decided to go to the mall and buy myself a used gaming laptop that I found on sale. But then the worst catastrophe happened to me, because 3 days later I came home from school really happy to keep trying out my new toy. But my mom tells me, "Son, I gave your laptop to your cousin in Sardinia because his wasn't working anymore." And I was literally in shock, I couldn't even speak. Fear and desperation took over my body, and in the end, she kind of took pity on me. She bought me a crappy tablet, even worse than the government ones, that couldn't even run Tetris. I was paralyzed with fear and I couldn't move. Losing a gaming laptop because of my mom's excessive generosity hurt a lot, although my sister Juanita also knew how to destroy me, opening all my birthday presents. It turns out that once, my sister Juanita ruined my birthday party, and I remember it as the worst of all, because our parents threw a joint birthday party for both of us at Burger King. So the guests' presents were placed on separate tables, one for Juanita and one for me, to tell them apart. But at the end of the party, damn Juanita went and opened my presents without anyone seeing her and without my permission. And what about hers? When I saw it, I was just stunned. And I went to my mom and told her, "Mom, Juanita opened all the presents," and I started crying, but Juanita got in trouble and went to bed feeling it. It contained Juanita messed with my presents like it was a public piñata. And from there, we went to the beach, where a man told us that the sharks wouldn't eat us, but the barracudas maybe would. And what happened is that once my dad, my brother, and I thought some sharks were going to eat us. And we thought we were going to be gone forever. Because we got on the banana boat at the beach in Mazatlan. But it was the first time we did it, and they took us way too far from the shore. So I asked the man in charge, "Hey, aren't there sharks?" And he says, "Yeah, there are, but don't worry, they've already eaten." And I was like, thank goodness. But then the son of a bee tells me, "But the ones you really have to worry about are the barracudas, those haven't eaten yet." And well, thank God nothing happened. The good thing is it was fun. Because we survived the banana boat, the well-fed sharks, and the hungry barracudas. Only for a simple minibus later to make me think I needed a bulletproof suit. It all started when I got on a minibus, I thought it was going to be the last thing I ever did in my life. Because everything was normal at first. But suddenly we heard a blast. Like a nuclear bomb exploding. And then the dramatic people started shouting, "It's burning! It's burning!" And a man, completely panicked, jumped out the window with his backpack, and I was paralyzed until the driver very calmly said, "Relax, it's just a flat tire." But now everyone was really traumatized, holding onto their backpacks like they were life jackets. And since then, when someone says, "Let's take the van," I answer, "Sure, no, just wait for me, I'm going to get my armored suit." A flat tire turned the van into a disaster movie. And even so, my best friend took an even bigger risk going out to look for Pokemon in a Catapec in the middle of the night. The reason is that once, when Pokemon Go was popular, a friend almost got sent to meet God because the guy was playing Pokemon Go at 2 in the morning in Ecatepec, one of the most dangerous areas in all of Mexico City. But the fool was out looking for Pikachu. And when he was on his way back home, he saw that 3 guys were approaching him on a motorcycle and realized they were following him. He started running, but they caught up to him. Fortunately, they were his cousins, worried since his mom was looking for him. Are they chasing me? They're following me. My friend thought someone was after him to rob him, but it was just his cousins. Meanwhile, I nearly had a heart attack. When I found out I'd had an oatmeal drink with worms, it was because one time, by accident, I drank an oatmeal and milk drink full of worms. And I almost threw up because it was nighttime and I wanted to have some oatmeal, but I didn't realize the container was full of worms. So without realizing it, I poured the milk, the oatmeal, and started blending. And in the end, I served it in a glass with ice. But then, after I took the first sip and swallowed it, I realized that a bunch of worms were coming out of the oatmeal container, and I just stood there like that. But the good thing is I didn't die, and it didn't upset my stomach. No way! That's disgusting! Swallowing oatmeal with worms didn't send me to the hospital, but a supposedly unlimited scholarship card did get us in trouble. No, for spending 5,000 V-Bucks in Fortnite. Why? One time, my girlfriend and I thought we had an unlimited bank card from AMLO's scholarship, but that wasn't actually the case. And we made a purchase of 5,000 pesos, and her mom ended up scolding her because the money ran out. And the thing is, one day we started buying things, but months went by, and it seemed like the money on the card never seemed to run out. So one day I said to her, "Hey Nenny, what if we buy 5,000 pesos worth of Fortnite V-Bucks? After all, the card is unlimited." And she said, "Okay." So then we bought the V-Bucks, and the purchase went through. But then her mom got a notification on her bank account, and her mom said, "Girl, what did you do? You spent all the money." And that's when we realized it wasn't unlimited.
Mama, I'm a criminal. Mama, I'm a criminal.